these notifications that are coming up on my computer. So do not disturb mode. I'll tell you what, that is one of my favorite buttons on this whole damn operating system is do not disturb. That changes everything instantaneously. Welcome, everyone. We are live. Welcome to our success mastermind for, what is it? Friday, April 30th. Fun Friday, ladies and gentlemen. John Lavenia here with you. As always, I do see a number of our guests tuning in via the interwebs, as well as a number of our members tuning in via Zoom, which is also the interwebs right here. Jane Akindalo, good to see you, my friend. We got a few people who are on camera here already. Let's view them real quick. I see Ivier's here, Evelyn, Jane, John without the useless H in the middle of his name. So Jon, very good. We got Gail here. We got Mark, Edward, who's become a staple, a regular attendee. Daisy's here. Here comes Evelyn Smith. She doesn't have her camera on yet. Sandra's here. Here comes Edward over in England. More people piling in. All right, welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started. It is Fun Friday, so we like to start with a dog show or a joke, or if anybody's got any animals. We did see Race, John Apogee's dog, here just a moment ago. Or if you've got a joke, something you'd like to share, come on out, and we're going to start lighthearted. That's how we like to end the week. Who's got something for me today? Somebody to tell a joke, and if I tell it, it's probably going to be inappropriate. All right, let's see. Who's coming up? Gail, come on down.
No, I have to look up something.
Usually I can count on you for something, Gail, for that joke or for your dog who you just kicked out of your house because he was
making too much noise.
Yeah. Hey, Carlene's here. Daisy, do we have a joke, or do we have a dog or something? You know what we need to do? We need to bring like some new jokes and animals to the table. You know, when this all started, as some of you remember, we had a lot of new members, and then they would come and go, and we were doing the e-commerce, more of a focus on e-commerce. And we do have that now every Monday. In fact, let me announce that here in just a moment. But we had a lot of fresh material from people who had never, shared anything on live on camera before. So it was fun. And I've reached out to a few of our friends who haven't been in sessions with us live much lately to remind them, hey, we're here, we're doing this. It's pretty great. Gail, did you find a joke?
Yeah.
Please.
Why should you never trust stairs?
Steers? I don't know.
Stairs, not steers.
Oh, deers?
Stairs.
Like stairs?
Like my Australian accent's that bad. S-T-A-I-R-S.
Got it. Stairs. Why should you never trust stairs?
Because they're always up to something.
They're always up to something. There you go. Thank you, Gail. Thank you for that comment.
I got a joke too.
All right, come on here, Lieutenant Colonel Mark Riggle.
What happens to a frog's car when it breaks down?
Something about croaking, I would imagine.
Oh, it gets towed away.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I remember, Daisy's here.
Yes, I have a joke.
Yeah, please.
Amazing, isn't it? What did the pirate say? What did the pirate say when he turned 80?
I don't know.
I matey.
I matey. That's good. I got one. Oh, yeah, Edward.
What does the nosy pepper do?
Nosy pepper.
Oh, I just read that one, so I'm going to be quiet.
Oh, okay. I don't know. What do they do?
He gets all up in your business.
Oh my goodness. Good stuff. Another pirate joke. What's the pirate's favorite restaurant? Arby's. All right. Anybody else today? Anybody else? Good. Thank you for the rated G jokes. I know we got kids that listen in sometimes. And no other dogs, cats, animals, goats, geese. By the way, I hear Ingrid and Ingrid's son's goose is doing better, for those of you who got the memo on that. So apparently there are bird specialists in the veterinary world. So a couple of things, announcements. First of all, I want to acknowledge Evelyn Melendez, Madam Chop Chop, for all of her service, not only on our members Facebook group, but also with our e-commerce workshop that happens every Monday. And she took that over from Stuart, who served for some months. And now Evelyn has served for some months. And now she is handing that torch to a co-hosting team of Neil Benison and Emma Jordan. Emma, I think you've got two last names. Hopefully I'm using the right one. So that's going to be kind of like a double whammy now. Now, if you're seeing this as a guest, let's say you're on YouTube or Facebook right now, you're seeing this broadcast, you're like, how do I get access to that? You just go to JLSuccessmastermind.com and you can grab a free trial. We've got all these topic discussions. We meet on average 3 times a day. Our general session, we push out to the public that you're seeing right now, if you're seeing this out on the interwebs. So, but we've got all kinds of stuff. We got a book study group, which is rocking. So starting Monday, we're going to have we're going to have Emma and Neil hosting the e-commerce workshop this morning at 4:00 in the morning, my time, which is 1:00 in the afternoon or something, noon, maybe 8 hours plus. In UK, we had Ego Obi doing our practical entrepreneurial tips. We've got the, of course, the book study, life and business tools. We've got, my goodness, Mark Riggle with tactical and strategic marketing. There is so much going on here with our members. So thank you all who contribute. Again, hats off to Evelyn, and we're glad you're here with us, and we wish you tremendous success with your new endeavor that you are engaging in starting Monday. So yay, Evelyn. All right, good. And thanks to Evelyn, we've got a little topic we're going to talk about here today. Is that the only announcement I had? I think that's it. Oh, today we have our hospitality suite, which is always open, and we do not have integrative health. Therese is traveling again, so she's out for today, but we do have Be Heard at 6 p.m. Eastern US time, where I listen and you talk. So I will see you guys there. That's how we wrap up our week for the benefit of any of our new members who want to, come and talk in a smaller, group and just ask me questions, do whatever you want to do. Typically, Adrian Garner gets me talking about something, but I got a hard stop today in like 45 minutes once we get that going. So it's not going to be an all-nighter or anything like that. So here's our topic for today. Here's what's coming up. Evelyn just made a change, and haven't many of us, right? I don't think any of us have shown up here in this sort of a discussion because we, everything's status quo or homeostasis, right? Like our last author talked about. We just studied The Power of Consistency by Weldon Long, right? Here's a guy who spent 13 years in prison and then became multimillionaire. Interesting, write-up that he gave us about his assessment of how that actually occurred. And it was very deliberate, right? He didn't stumble into millions or something like that. So he had to make a change. He had to make a significant change from criminal, let's say criminal mind, right? Because the thought precedes the deed, which precedes the consequences, right? So from criminal mind / prisoner, convict, right? To owner and operator of the fastest growing company in his space. And, here he is millions of, down the road, and, author, speaker, coach. That's a change, right? And what did he talk about when he talked, for those of you who went through the book study, what did he talk about was a key for him being able to make this change? Well, it's right in the title of the book, The Power of Consistency, right? That's what he talked about was consistency. But consistency with what? He gave us an acronym, what he called the upside of fear, FEAR, fear. Which, who likes that, right? Who wants to be fearful? I don't aspire to be fearful. I don't think any intelligent action comes from a fearful mind. Just looking at my own experience, right? That seems to be the case, right? That we've got to have a higher emotional state if we intend to produce something of worth, something new, something beneficial to ourselves and to others. And so focus on what? What are we getting consistent about? Well, this FEAR acronym, F was for focus, right? So we're focusing on our thoughts, and our thoughts tend to conjure up an emotional state. And we can do that deliberately, or we could do it haphazardly, right? And let all these other inputs and outside influences dictate our emotional state, which is what most people do. Thinking is hard work. right? Henry Ford said, thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably why so few people engage in it. It's hard, right? I heard another really smart guy say, don't worry about what your neighbors think. They probably don't, right? Because thinking is hard work. So a lot of times we may look outside of ourselves for validation or criticism, right? I wonder, what will they think? This is the mantra of the herd, by the way. The purpose of the herd is to keep you in the herd. What will they think? What will they think, right? But people who are experiencing change and doing this proactively, right? I'm using Evelyn as the example. She just took on a new endeavor. Okay. But people who are doing this proactively, they have different considerations. Not so much what will they think. What considerations do these people have? How do proactive people think? We can go back to another book that we've studied. In fact, that's one that Weldon Long referred to a lot because it had such an impact on him, which was Steve Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You see, this is the value of studying all this stuff, is that you get lots of ammo to draw from when you're attempting to solve a problem, when you're attempting to put this puzzle together and get rid of the mystery and solve the riddle, so to speak, is that you've got all this content, right? Because you've studied these books. I'm saying you have. I know I certainly have. And those of you who've been hanging around with us for a while, we've certainly read. How many books have we read so far in our book study group? 8? My goodness. 9 maybe? Anyway, so what do proactive people do? They decide who they are and what they're about. In other words, we can evaluate for ourselves our own values and principles. Values and principles. So when we're confronting change or the possibility of change, we can use our values and our principles. They're 2 different things, okay? But we can use those as a barometer for the decisions we now make moving forward. And they're proactive decisions. We are thinking people. We are deliberately choosing to change. In other words, the best way to predict the future is to create it, if you're so inclined, right? That or be like the ball bouncing down the road. You don't know where you're going to bounce next, right? And certainly none of us have a crystal ball. I can't tell you that every decision that I make or that Evelyn's making is the right decision. I don't make all the right decisions, but I can make my decisions right by applying this original concept, again, which is right on the cover of that book, consistency. And then I can optimize that which I'm doing. In other words, when we get on the path, a new path, a change, right? When we're engaging in some sort of a change, we don't know what that whole path is going to look like. And that's why people resist change. And in fact, they're resistant to making decisions because a lot of times we don't know what that path is going to look like. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure. What if I make a mistake? In some cases, fear of success. What if I blow this up? Why would somebody be afraid of success? This is an interesting thing, just as a little side, rabbit hole. We'll go down here for a minute. But if our identity has been the victim, and we may not vocalize it that way because that doesn't sound very glorious, but if we get emotional pay from the sympathy of others or something, or gaining agreement from our other ignorant but well-meaning and broke friends, family, and neighbors, who will I become? Will I still gain the acceptance or the respect of the herd? Remember the mantra of the herd. What will they think? Remember the purpose of the herd is to keep you in the herd, right? My friend Scott Alexander wrote this book called Rhinoceros Success. I mentioned it to you before, where he likens different personalities to like the cows and the rhinos. And then there's some other animals in there too, the lions, the wolves, the rabbits, or whatever. But the cows and the rhinos were the main 2 different categories. The cows, of course, are the masses, and the rhinos are those entrepreneurial people charging through the jungle, dissatisfied with the cow pasture and chewing their cud and stepping in their own crap, but charging towards the promised land, right? Which one of these do you identify with? It's easy to fall back into cow mentality just because it's easy, right? You don't have to think so much, just gain agreement from other people. What will they think? And so it takes a bit of chutzpah, right? To leave the pasture and to charge through the jungle. We're not going to do that, by the way, unless we focus on things that we've personally identified for ourselves as would be our ideal values and principles. So we can take this whole thing and we can put it into under the umbrella of what I would call purpose. So we're focusing on our purpose. So back to Weldon Long and his upside of fear, right? Focus, emotion, action, responsibility, FEAR. Just doing this from memory. Hopefully I got that right. We just spent 4 weeks on the book, so hopefully I retained something. Okay, so we're focusing on those pleasing thoughts, which are on purpose for us. They are in line with our values. I value this in my life. You may have different values. That's subjective, okay? But I value this in my life. These experiences, this moral code, this set of ideals and goals, right, and objectives. And then when it comes to principles, now we're talking about our character, our strength of character, and that would be in my assessment, and as I wrote about in my first book, things like integrity. Do what you say you're going to do, right? Things like loyalty. Mark, you brought up loyalty. Was it yesterday? Right? We had a longer conversation about that a couple of weeks back. But the idea that I can be relied on. I don't abandon a friend in an ally, right? In need or in in a situation where we've already agreed that, like in business, for example, that we're going to go ahead and tackle this problem or this opportunity, right? So there's a set of ethics that goes with this word principles. So I'm thinking, and by the way, that is typically when we get into a conversation about worthiness, right? Because we're looking at change, and sometimes, just like I already alluded to, am I worthy of change, or what will happen to me if I do change? Right? This is something that will help us, if we look at it, will help us make better decisions if we weigh them against principles that are, let's say, morally sound, right? In other words, I don't have to second guess myself so much. This kind of relates to what Mark was talking about yesterday in our general session. I don't have to second guess myself so much if I know that the why is solid. I might not make every decision optimally and perfectly, whatever that means, right? I may not be perfect, okay? But my intent is to act based on principles, based on known sound principles, ethics, morals, integrity, right? And we've determined these things for ourselves, and they're easy to, here's the interesting part, they're easy to then find respect from other rhinos charging through the jungle. In other words, other men and women of means and accomplishment. We will have that respect, right? If you're wondering about, what will they think? Well, which group are we talking about here? The cows or the rhinos? So I think embracing change, here's the interesting, and this has come up for me a couple of times just in the past couple of weeks. The interesting thing is I can either gain the respect of the people who worship comfort and security and the cow pasture, or I can gain the respect of others that I've chosen to enter that group. It's a smaller group. The people charging and causing stuff to happen. So like the saying, the best way to predict the future is to create it, right? So here are people creating the future. They're causing stuff to happen. They're unreasonable people. Unreasonable. I'll quote George Bernard Shaw. He said that the reasonable man attempts to adapt himself to the world or to the environment. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the environment to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Unreasonable, going beyond just reason, which is limited. It's based on what we already know. Okay, but using higher mental faculties, like our ability to imagine, right, to pull up images of what is this ideal scene? Where are we looking to go with this? Why am I bothering to make new decisions? Why am I willing to walk down this path, which I haven't walked before, which I don't know if there's rattlesnakes and arrows flying around? Who knows, right? Am I going to make every decision right? Does anyone go through life unscathed? I don't think so, right? So, but I'm going to walk down this path. Why? Because I've got a reason to walk down this path. I've got a reason to make the change, and I know what that reason is, and I'm not vague about it. And it's a big enough reason for me to bet my life on it. Here's the interesting, that sounds heavy, right? So anything we do, we're trading our life for. Right now, I am trading my life to have this conversation with you, this hour's worth of my life. I will never get it back. And I've determined, based on my principles and my values, there is nothing better for me to do. There's other things I could do. They're just not better than this. So I'll do this then, right? There's nothing better for me to do than this right now. So when deciding what change we're going to embrace, what path we're going to go down, when we are considering these decisions, there's two questions that we could ask ourselves. Number one is, will this move me in the direction of my goals? Will this help me produce whatever this product is that I'm creating, looking to create in my life? The product of wealth, the product of opulence, service to my fellow man, right? Is this moving me in that direction? Better, stronger, faster. If yes, the second question is, will this violate your rights, the rights of others? Am I hurting you? And if the answer to that second question is no, then we stop asking questions and we take action. It's so simple. The challenge for a lot of people is all the considerations. I'll say for myself, this has been the challenge, and I don't think I'm that unique, is that I've got all these considerations that are secondary and tertiary considerations. And one of them is, but what will they think? Right? Back to the whole, worshiping agreement thing. But what if I change? What if I actually succeed? What if I make a spectacle of myself? Holy crap. Who will I be then? Will you still like me? Right? It reminds me of Earl Nightingale, and I think all of you have had an opportunity to listen to his classic recording, The Strangest Secret. Is there anyone here who has not heard The Strangest Secret? I know all of our members, part of your onboarding process was I emailed you a copy of this, audio that you can listen to, The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. He was a student of Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, one of the most, quintessential books on personal development and actually getting rich unapologetically, becoming successful. Anyway, he said in this classic recording, the Strangest Secret, he said, well, we're talking about success, so we've got to define success. Thank you, Earl, right? I don't want to sit here not understanding what you're talking about. So give me your definition of success. And then he did. He said, and here's the best definition I've ever heard. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. The progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So that's a pretty huge statement right there. I really appreciate that definition. So progressive, meaning not perfect, but making progress. Okay, so we're moving in that direction deliberately. Realization, making real. Okay, so, and you can say manifesting, you could say causing to occur, having an effect, right? So the progressive realization of what? Of a worthy to who? Worthy to you. Whose principles and values are we basing this on? Worthy what? Ideal. So what does that mean? That means it's based on your purpose, right? What is the ideal scene here? What is the outcome? What is what I like to call the guaranteed future outcome that we're shooting for here? Okay, what's my worthy ideal? Which we can never completely fulfill, like a purpose. If we talk about a purpose, has anyone completely fulfilled a purpose? I suppose if you completely fulfilled the purpose that you've determined for yourself in your life, you wouldn't be you anymore, right? I mean, you'd something would happen, but there's a purpose for you being here right now. Consider that. I'm talking to everyone right now. You wouldn't be waking up in the morning and endeavoring to do whatever you're attempting to do if your purpose was 100% fulfilled. That's pretty instructive. I find that's a pleasing thought for me. And I wonder sometimes about people who have abandoned the idea of change, because that's really what we're talking about here is change. And one thing we know is constant in life is change. But there are people who mentally retired, right? So I'm retired now. I no longer endeavor towards reaching of goals. And a lot of times we can look at money as a barometer for that. It's like, all right, I've already made enough money. I don't need to earn money anymore. But you see, and I'm sure you have seen this, if you've observed people who have mentally checked out from their purpose, right? They may be retired, they may be a billionaire or something, right? So that's a quantity of money in bank accounts or whatever. Okay, fine. But they've mentally checked out and their mind turns to mush and they're soon gone. And then there's other people. Yeah, I'm also a billionaire, but my goodness, let's go run these foundations. Let's go. I'm going to go pursue golf or something and do it so fervently that man, I can't wait to get up in the morning and do the golf thing or something or whatever. Fill in the blank. Okay, but it's a completely different experience from retired person A versus retired person B. And Ben Franklin said most men die at age 25 and then walk around for another 40 years waiting to be buried. I think that holds water. I think that's a pretty accurate statement. So we can mentally check out or say that, you know what, I am no longer willing to embrace life. And we know change is constant in life. I'm no longer willing to embrace life or to have a self-determined purpose, which is a reason for me to get out of bed in the morning, right? We can have that approach, or we could say, you know what, if I'm sucking air, then there's some effect that I could be having right now. Let me get clear on what that effect could be just for today, right? What effect can I have today? What change can I cause today? What future can I predict today by creating it? And it may not just be a self-serving thing. In fact, what we find is the most purposeful people, it's bigger than just you. I find this very pleasing. I think, and Evelyn, I'd love to hear from you. And of course, we're going to open it up for discussion. I've already been talking 26 minutes. And if you're watching this on the public feed, then feel free to go in the chat. We've got comments and I read them all. But don't put the little friggin' spam things. We've got some people that come in and put like these little, spam, links in the YouTube thing. I just delete them anyway. Nobody's going to click on that crap. But the idea here is that you, Evelyn, and everyone, okay, you have a reason for showing up, and the methods that are on the path are not known yet until you get to that point. Do we have the confidence that we can make right enough decisions that we can then optimize? Because we're moving, we can't optimize, we can't steer a parked car. Okay, we got to be moving, but because we're moving, we can now optimize and make those decisions right, and cause the outcomes to be as optimal as possible, and gain more competence and aptitude as we continue to move, because we've got a reason to, and we know what that reason is, and it's not vague to us. We got to get unvague. What do you guys think about this? Linda's hand is up, Virginia, and then let's start with Linda, Virginia, and I'm sure we're going to hear Madam Chop Chop out here momentarily. Linda, you've got the floor, then Virginia.
Hi, everyone. Hi, John. Yeah, so it's like I missed the beginning because I was busy working, but so I have the why, and it's clear to me, and then it's that want, that deep down want and desire that I'm not struggling with it. I'm just trying to make it grow. And that's the thing that, it's I struggle with that. And it's the knowing and the doing gap in between, that big, yeah. Get off your butt and do it. You know how to do it, but let's do it.
Okay, so what's between knowing and doing? What's in that gap?
What's in procrastination?
Okay.
Yeah.
So where does procrastination come from?
Indecision. Well, yes.
Okay.
Or,
and what is indecision made of?
What is my decision made of?
What is indecision made of? What is the content of indecision?
No.
Considerations. What if? Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So.
Fear of change.
Fear. That's a consideration.
Fear. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Considerations. Oh, I think this. I think that. But what if? But what? I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe. Holy crap. Right. Most people piss away their whole life in a state of chronic indecision.
Mm-hmm.
So my affirmation has been, and this is not just for Linda, but for me and anyone else who wants to listen, I dare to make an ass of myself. Okay, great. Now I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be right. I just have to publish.
Mm-hmm.
Just publish, right? Imperfect and done beats perfect and not done. And I had to drill that into my own head so many times because I'm such a damn perfectionist, which is another way of saying I like to procrastinate, right? It's a great justifier. It sounds cool. I can wear a little Perfectionist badge, that's a shinier badge than procrastinator. Perfectionist, yeah, screw you, right? So I, man, I got to get real about this, right? Who holds me back?
Mhm.
Linda, profound.
Me.
And look, if look, people who aren't like high self-esteem, high achieving people don't engage in these conversations. They're watching kitten videos or they're hiding under a rock or something. Linda, I honor you. Like, holy crap. That's Linda Landry right there. She's a powerful being. And I'll tell you what, here's the other thing. And I'm sorry to be parking on you a little bit here, but I got to the point, Linda, here's what happened for me. I had these intentions, and then I had what I knew I could be doing, but I wasn't. And then I got so frustrated. I got so pissed off with myself
Mhm.
that because I wasn't, the stats weren't on the board, right? The sales weren't there, or the product wasn't made. And I was like, screw this. I don't care, right? I hope it sucks. I hope it sucks. I'm just going to go and do it. And I don't give a damn. And guess what happened? People started throwing money at me.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. What just happened? What just happened was John stopped with all these damn considerations about what if. Okay. Okay. Now we know. And then I forget. And then I got to go figure it out again. Right.
Mhm.
Because now I'm on a different endeavor, right? Different project, right? I forget. Wow. I look at people like Elon Musk. Okay. I don't know the guy personally, but my goodness, does he reach, right? I mean, it's like, I got an idea. Let's do it.
Mhm.
Right. Richard Branson. Let's do it. So, I mean, there's a guy, billionaire, right? He's a sir, right? So I guess he's a knight or something, whatever that means these days. Maybe some of our British friends can enlighten me. But he started Virgin Records, right? Are there any Virgin Record stores around anymore? I don't even know. Maybe there's one in England. I don't know. I haven't seen a record store in a while. So I guess that a successful project? Did he make money with that? Maybe not. I don't know. But it's gone now. At least as far as I could tell, it's gone. So we could say that's a failure. Still a billionaire, right? How about Virgin Airlines? Is that profitable? I don't know. Can you make money flying planes? But he had an idea. You know how Virgin Airlines started? He wanted to go to was it Puerto Rico or Florida or something? And he was in England, right? And like there was no direct flight. And so he just made an airline so he could fly where he wanted to. Linda, I'm sorry, I hijacked your talk.
That's okay.
So what are your thoughts on this? Like this whole indecision thing?
Well, it's just, I mean, I just know I have to do it. Yeah. I mean, part of it's scheduling, and Shannon's helping me out with that, with her freedom challenge. So that's exciting too.
We're going to be hitting that at the top of the hour. Oh
Right.
my goodness. We're going to be talking about sales funnels and selling today, and it's going to be fun. So everybody tune into that. CEO Freedom Challenge. And we got a Facebook group and everything else for that. Linda, yeah, you're awesome. You're this close. You're this close, Linda.
Thanks.
Yeah. Get mad. Do something. Make a decision.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear from Virginia Pipitone, the cookie queen.
Hi, good morning in my end of the world and your end of the world, John. I want to say, first of all, that I really, really appreciate you keeping this a success mastermind group together and ongoing. I was on doing something and sitting here and going, oh my gosh, it's 5 minutes after 10. I need to get on. I'm missing my morning fix, and I'm here to take it. Sometimes I'm not here to be able to do it. One thing that really sparked my curiosity was your quote by George Bernard Shaw. I went and looked up right away. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists to adapt the world to himself. Interesting use of the word persist now that I'm thinking about it. Therefore, all progress depends on the reasonable man. I always get accused by my family, i.e. my daughter, that my frustration is because I'm trying to make things work the way I think they should work instead of the way they do work. So like computers and technology and different things, or things that I find are illogical. Well, why doesn't it work like this? So I just emailed her this quote. Okay. So every time I get frustrated about trying to make things work the way I think they should, I'm just going to remind you that all progress depends on being unreasonable. So thank you for that tidbit today. Also, last night I was thinking, I was listening to CDs that's like 8 years old. I have a ton of them that are inspirational, and a lot of them are religious based, but this one is about habits, and it's about breaking bad habits by making a good one. And so it's called Make One, Break One. So the focus is on making the new habit, and instead of the focus being on trying to break that habit, make the new habit. And so she was quoting an interview that the reporter was interviewing a very, very successful businessman. I don't know if he was in banking or whatever, it doesn't really matter. The point was he was very successful. And so the reporter asked him, well, what do you attribute your overwhelming success? And he said, 2 words. Well, what are those 2 words? Good decisions. Okay, well, how do you then, what guides you in making good decisions? And the gentleman said, 1 word. Okay, well, what is that 1 word? Experience. Well, how do you get the experience then? 2 words. And what are those 2 words? Bad decisions. So my whole focus now has been like on, imperfect and done is better than, perfect and not done. She quoted someone else, I don't know who, about the best thing you can do is to make the right decision. The second best thing you can do is to make the wrong decision. And the third thing that you can do is make no decision at all. That's the worst one, because it doesn't move you forward and you don't get any experience from it,
Wow.
So that was all coming together based on what you were saying today as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Virginia. Thank you. So profound and so simple. And I believe the height of mastery is simplicity. So we could just look at that hierarchy, right? So good, better, best, or actually bad, okay, and awesome, right? I guess would be the gradient. And no decision, indecision. That is, man, that's a killer. Wow. Thank you, Virginia.
Thank you.
Who's next? Come on, we got a few more people here. We got a few more minutes. Evelyn Melendez.
Thank you, John. I appreciate your time, everything you've done, how you have helped me stay focused, keep on pursuing my dreams, keep on pushing forward, staying in the lane, but that consistency and persistency and using your gut feeling too, because that's important. When something is right for you, you do. But sometimes we're just too afraid of following that because of the what ifs. It is a new opportunity for me, and I'm super excited to take it. And I thought I was done with corporate jobs. I thought I was done with, the whole staffing thing. But this company, what I loved about them and why I'm excited to go to work for them is because it's all about their people. They want to create a good environment and they appreciate their staff because they understand that if they give everything to their staff, they will give it their all to everybody else compared to that micromanaging type of jobs, so that to me was a quality that aligned with the way that I think, but what I had to do and what I've been doing is changing my schedule. Simple. I had to take a look at what I couldn't fit on my plate anymore, and then shift things around that. It's not that I'm not going to be here anymore. I'm probably going to be here every time I can in your general sessions, and I'm going to continue doing my consulting. I'm just going to adjust the hours. It's going to be after my schedule because, again, integrity is very important. You have to be there for the people that are paying you to be there, but it's so worth it to be a little bit afraid and give it in a shot. Because the worst thing that can happen is you learn something. Really, you learn something, you met new people, your network just grew, and there is always a takeaway from everything and everybody and everything you experience. So for those of you that are in the verge of change, give it a chance. Just go for it. What's the worst thing that can happen? It's not a fit. Oh, well, then let's go for the next one and see what else we can learn. What else, we can give, or what else are we receiving from them? There is a lot of knowledge out there. We are not everything. We don't know everything, and I doubt we will ever know everything. But every little bit that we give and we get from others around us, I think they're super important. So don't be afraid of change. It's awesome. It really is.
Well, thank you, Evelyn. And thank you for introducing the topic today. So Evelyn said change. I'm like, okay, let's take it up. And we did. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Evelyn. And we have Edward. Mr. Mosley, come on out here. Edward, how are you, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
I'm awesome.
These concepts, they are timeless. I mean, you said a phrase that just brought back all kind of memories. The gap between knowing and doing. It was like ding, 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 because that was something that we talked about a long time ago.
Mhm.
And you have to look at yourself and say, did you heed that? Did you do that? And then the last information that we just got was, were you consistent doing it? Because you shared this with me a long time ago. To know and not to do is still not to know. I mean, that's where I have been so many times. And I'm continuing to learn as I go and grow, but you still have that struggle because, you can pontificate and you can talk to people about it and you can say, oh, well, I read this book and this is what happened and blah, 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 and seem, so smart. But then where are the results that you say Because once again, the power of consistency is not there. And the revelation that it takes this, and this. In other words, you said that you were trading your life for it, whatever it was. That just, trading your life for it. Whatever you choose to do, you're trading some time that you'll never get back. So make it count. Like in what was it? The Titanic. He had her a little note. He said, make it count. And what he was telling her is like, the life you're leading, is that where you want to go? And if you don't, come downstairs and see how we really party, how we really live, make it count. So, I just want to tell you, I'm just learning so much, and it's like reiteration, because you can listen and not hear. And if you don't hear, you won't apply. So thank you so much for the insight that you're giving. And I appreciate every minute you spent with me, no doubt about it.
Thank you, Edward. So glad you're here. So glad you found us. There you go.
Once again.
Yeah. Good times. All right, everyone. We're 43 minutes in. Anybody else got something you want to say before we go ahead? And I'm going to take a potty break and then get on this CEO Freedom Challenge, which is a thrill. My goodness, what content has been going on there? Huge, huge. Of course, you get Shannon on that deal too. Actually, I'm the add-on. She's the main show. Anybody else before we wrap up for today? Last call.
I have a question. Wait, one quick question.
I knew it. Yep,
It's gonna be
Virginia.
somebody. Who's taking over Evelyn's role in updating the Facebook group with reminders and things of that? Do we have someone that's doing that?
Everyone is. And so let's see if all of us combined can do as good as what Evelyn did single-handedly. I know Therese is very active too with posting stuff. I don't think Therese is here right now. Therese, of course, runs our integrative health. And I'm about the worst with it. But for our facilitators, right, we've got lots of different facilitators who volunteer their time to create the different sessions that we have. Yeah, go ahead and post that you're going to be going live, and but everyone who's in that group is able to post. So if you're asking me for social media advice, you're asking the wrong person.
I was just asking about the reminders. She used to always send out the reminders of that this meeting was starting in an hour or was happening later today. So you're saying the individual facilitators will send out reminders about their.
They can. I don't know that they will. They can. Yeah. So, but we have our calendar too. And for anyone who's newer here, in our members site, you just click on live sessions, and then there's the whole menu of everything we're doing currently. And then there's the calendar in US, UK, and Australia time. So based on your region, we got 3 calendars in there. But as far as like the social media thing, you know what? I'm sure that Evelyn will pop in here and there. But
I will.
Yeah.
I will. And I will try to schedule everything so they pop up, just maybe an hour before each session, so people have the reminder. So thank you for the opportunity. I just got to plan my day, and just do all that for you guys. But if you don't mind, John, to answer Virginia's question, I guess she has not seen that post on Facebook that Neil and Emma will be taking over for me.
No, I saw that for the e-commerce, but
For the e-commerce.
You always do everything that's going on. This is coming up in an hour. This is happening today. And I find that was very on there. So I don't know, maybe we can.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually always worried I was spamming you guys, but.
No, I think that's great as a reminder. Like last night at Shannon's group, there was only Julia and I and Edward. And I thought, oh my gosh, where's everyone else? But Shannon only comes on every couple of weeks. This is such precious opportunity to tweak, and pick her brain. So I didn't know if there'd been a reminder of that or not. I didn't see it, but I didn't look for it. But anyway, so.
Yeah. Well, that was, of course, our branding session, right? And some people have more attention on that than others, right? Some people are on the e-commerce side or on the book study, right? Which is my thing, right? I will never miss a book study. Of course, I'm the host of that, but same with Mandy. She does the Books for Britain on Wednesday. And so those who are inclined can be there. And then, of course, we got the whole running archive. But I think Evelyn Melendez is awesome at like social media reminders and stuff like that. Let's see what we can do as facilitators. And I know, Virginia, you're not hosting a session here, but if you were, I would say go ahead and be active on the Facebook group once a week or whenever you volunteer to host, right? So,
Okay.
all right. Let's wrap up with that. We good? Everybody good? All right. Have an awesome day. Those of you who are in the challenge, I'll see you there in 12 minutes. And then, of course, I'll be back here with you for Be Heard at 6 p.m. Eastern. If you got questions, anything you want to talk about,